Some celebrities look almost completely different from how they did just a few years ago. Their complete transformation catches the public's eye, sparks debates, and floods social media with side-by-side comparisons. But the question remains, can Botox, fillers, and cosmetic procedures really account for these dramatic changes? Or are they being cloned? This is the kind of shift that gets everyone talking. So how do some of these stars go from familiar faces to ones that seem almost unrecognizable? Could this really be the result of aesthetic treatments, or is something else at play? Keep watching as we uncover the stories behind these surprising transformations and the reactions that followed. Number 1. Madonna. Madonna is one of the best-selling artists in music history. She built her name in the early 1980s with chart-topping singles and a public image that was bold from day one. Songs like a Virgin, Vogue, and Like a Prayer turned her into a global star. Over the years, she moved from pop into dance, electronic, and experimental sounds. She acted in films, launched fashion lines, directed projects, and toured stadiums worldwide. She has won 7 Grammy Awards and sold hundreds of millions of records. Reinvention has always been part of her brand. She does not separate music from image. For her, both move together. Her look has shifted many times. In the 1980s, she wore lace gloves, crucifixes, teased hair, and lingerie as outerwear. In the 1990s, she leaned into old Hollywood glamour and high fashion. The 2000s brought a more athletic style, with toned arms and minimal makeup during her dance-heavy tour years. By the 2010s and early 2020s, red carpet appearances started a new wave of conversation. The moment that pushed debate back into headlines came after her appearance at the 2023 Grammy Awards. Side-by-side photos spread online within hours. Many viewers said she looked very different from earlier decades. People who study celebrity aesthetics began pointing out specific features. Online discussions often focus on her smooth forehead, which many viewers read as a sign of Botox. Others mention fuller cheeks and stronger mid-face volume, which they connect to fillers or fat grafting. Some note a tighter jawline and neck area in certain public photos and say that look matches results people associate with a facelift. Raised brows and a more sculpted nose shape are also part of the online breakdowns. On social media, the pattern repeats. A red carpet image goes viral, clips are zoomed in, and then posts appear listing possible procedures one by one. At the same time, other factors come up in the discussion. Commentators mention heavy stage makeup, contouring, bright lighting, camera angles, and Instagram filters. Short video clips can distort proportions. Professional photographers also edit images before publication. All of that can change how a face appears from event to event. Still, the visual contrast between older and newer images keeps the debate active. Number 2. Mickey Rourke. Mickey Rourke became a major Hollywood name in the 1980s. He had the intense, brooding look that cameras loved. Films like 9.5 Weeks and Angel Heart made him a standout leading man. He had the sharp jawline, heavy-lidded eyes, and quiet confidence that fit that era of cinema. For a while, he looked like the next long-term movie star. Then, he stepped away from acting and returned to professional boxing in the early 1990s. That decision changed everything. Boxing is not gentle on the face. Rourke suffered broken bones and repeated injuries. Over time, he needed reconstructive surgeries to repair the damage. He has spoken openly about it. He said he chose the wrong surgeon at one point. He admitted that some operations did not turn out the way he hoped, and that he needed further procedures to correct earlier results. This is not rumor. It is something he has discussed himself. Years later, he came back to acting in a big way with The Wrestler. The performance earned him an Academy Award nomination and brought him back into the spotlight. But by then, his face looked very different from the one audiences remembered in the 1980s. People started comparing photos. In older images, he had a classic movie star profile. In newer ones, viewers noticed a different nose shape, fuller or uneven cheeks, and visible changes around the jaw and eyes. Some saw scars and asymmetry that looked consistent with reconstructive surgery. Because Rourke had already explained his boxing injuries and surgical history, the public connected those dots quickly. The reason talk about too much work keeps coming up is the scale of the change. This was not a small adjustment over time. It was a series of big shifts. First came physical trauma from boxing. Then came surgeries to repair that damage. Then came additional operations to fix earlier results. On top of that, he gained and lost significant weight for roles, especially for the wrestler. Weight changes alone can alter how a face looks on camera. Later, when he appeared again in boxing-related events, the cameras zoomed in even closer, which highlighted every detail. Number 3. Donatella Versace. Donatella Versace has been one of the most visible names in fashion for decades. After the murder of her brother Gianni Versace in 1997, she stepped in to lead the House of Versace. Many people wondered at the time whether the brand could survive. Under her direction, it not only survived, but remained a global luxury label. She became both the creative head and the public face of the company. Fashion weeks, award shows, charity galas, she was always there, front row or backstage. Her look became part of the brand itself. Platinum blonde hair, deep tan, strong eye makeup, defined lips. She built a consistent image that made her instantly recognizable in photos from Milan, London, New York, or Paris. Because her appearance has been so steady for so long, even small changes stand out quickly. Over the past decade, people began pointing to visible shifts. Observers mentioned smoother skin, higher and fuller cheeks, plumper lips, and what looked like a more refined nose shape. In late 2024 and into 2025, new red carpet photos and Instagram posts triggered another wave of discussion. Some viewers said her face looked softer and more polished compared to earlier years, when her styling felt sharper and more dramatic. Fashion writers and beauty commentators began breaking down the changes in detail. They compared runway images with candid backstage shots. They zoomed in on high-resolution event photos. Lists of possible procedures started circulating. Botox for forehead lines, fillers in the cheeks or mid-face for added volume, lip augmentation, and possible eyelid lifts. Some also suggested a facelift because of a tighter jawline and smoother neck area in certain appearances. On social media and clinic channels, the analysis often sounds technical. People talk about cheek projection, nasolabial fold smoothing, brow position, and jawline definition. When those terms are used repeatedly, the speculation feels specific rather than vague. Instead of saying, "she looks different," posts outline feature-by-feature comparisons tied to certain public events, such as major fashion week shows or celebrity-filled galas in European capitals. Number 4. Simon Cowell. Simon Cowell is a television creator, judge, and music executive who became a household name through shows like Pop Idol, American Idol, and Britain's Got Talent. For years, he played the role of the blunt, sharp-tongued judge who said what others would not. His image was clear and consistent. He wore fitted dark V-neck shirts, kept a neat hairstyle, and carried a strong jawline that became part of his on-screen identity. The look matched the attitude. Confident, direct, and always in control. What makes Cowell different from many public figures is that he openly talked about his cosmetic procedures. He admitted in interviews that he had used facial fillers, and that at one point he felt he had gone too far. He even shared that his young son reacted with shock to his appearance. That moment seemed to hit him hard. Later, he said he decided to dissolve the fillers and return to a more natural look. That honesty gave the public something rare, a clear timeline. It was not just rumor built from photos. It was filler, then visible facial change, then regret, then reversal. When paparazzi photos and TV interviews showed his face looking fuller and tighter, people connected it directly to his own words. When later appearances showed a slimmer, softer look, viewers tied that to the dissolving process he described. Specific media moments became reference points. Tabloid photos circulated online. Interviews from 2021 and 2022 were shared widely, especially the clips where he talked about his son's reaction. Fans began comparing his jawline, cheek volume, and skin texture across episodes and red carpet events. Side-by-side images spread quickly. Because Cowell built his career on being sharp and self-assured, any visible shift in his appearance stood out more. Audience reaction split into two main camps. Some people treated his story as a warning about injectables. They pointed to his admission as proof that cosmetic enhancements can go further than expected. Others saw something more personal. They viewed it as a man reassessing his priorities after seeing how his appearance affected his child. In that reading, it was less about vanity and more about reflection. Number 5. Jim Carrey. Jim Carrey became a household name in the 1990s with his high-energy comedy and over-the-top expressions. Movies like The Truman Show and Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind showed he could also handle serious, emotional roles. His face has always been central to his career, elastic, highly expressive, and instantly recognizable. Over the years, he has balanced long periods of public attention with stretches of relative privacy. In February 2026, a public appearance at the César Awards 2026 sparked a fresh wave of online discussion. Fans and commentators quickly circulated side-by-side comparisons and viral clips. Many noted changes in his face: fuller midface and cheeks, a slightly different nose shape, and altered brow and eyelid positions. Board-certified plastic surgeons who reviewed photos and footage suggested the changes could indicate hyaluronic acid fillers, a mid-face lift, or possibly an endoscopic brow lift or blepharoplasty. These technical breakdowns gave viewers a concrete way to discuss what they were seeing. People focusing on details point out mid-face fullness that softens the jawline and lifts the cheeks compared to older images. Some mention a wide-eyed look with subtly raised brows, which experts label as a brow lift or Botox. Short video breakdowns comparing before versus after frames and naming the likely procedures helped turn casual speculation into discussions that feel precise and specific. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button and share your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you won't miss our next deep dive into celebrity transformations. Thanks for watching.